long pull round. There it is. Happy days. We're just getting straight on with it. Right guys, I'm back. This week back on the Shropshire Union Canal, and I'm out at Nantwich, and I'm actually on the section called Hat Green, which is near the secret nuclear bunker. So if you look that up on Google, you'll find out exactly where the stretch is. But I am on D section in what is, I do believe, a 370 peg national, so 37 teams of 10, and yeah, I've had about as long a walk as you can get. D section's 2 miles long between two bridges, and I've pretty much walked a mile because I'm on the last peg in D section, but I'm actually in the middle of everybody on the length, so I'm not 100% happy with my peg. It is what it is though. So a lot of them have got cover. I'm going to give you a look up and down the canal, but mine, very little cover, just a little bit of shrubbery on the far bank. So if we just take a look across, that's what I'm faced with. And right across, it's probably, well, somewhere over here, it's probably only 4 to 6 inches deep, so I'm not entirely sure there's going to be a great deal in there. Down to my right, yeah, I've got a number of anglers, they're all in my section, and everybody up to the left of me, there is nobody up there who's in my section. Well, no, I do believe they are in my section, but not in my mini section as such, so I'm not entirely sure how it works, to be quite honest, and I'm waffling. There's 37 pegs. I think it is divided into 9 sections of 9 mini sections within a section, so that's for individual prizes, but obviously this is a team event. I'm fishing as a combined WICAC team, so we've got 10 anglers, all who fish in the water industries last week, and we've combined to make a team, and we're out here and we're just going to try our best basically. We've never fished this section before, any of us, so hopefully what we learnt last week is going to stand us in good stead. Right, okay, let's have a look at my bait tray, because I am actually ready for once. So what I've learnt, ground bait this week is going to be super wet, and that's a 50-50 mix of Black River and Census Canal Noir, and I'm going to try and cloud up the water. But that said, look at the colour of that, it's like pea soup anyway, and when the boats come through it's just going to get worse. So rest of the bait, I've got a bit of hemp, probably going to try flicking the line out with that, or putting some over the top of a pinky line and fishing pinky over the top of it. I don't think we're probably going to catch on hemp, but you never know, there might be some good roach down here. Chop some worms up. I'm going to be feeding the slot mix with squat, so I'm going to be putting some squats into the slot mix down the inside, and also fishing pinky over the top of that. Pinky is predominantly the best hook bait on here, I do believe, so we've got some fluoro pinkies, some casters for the far line, and we've got a few dead reds. I might just try and see if we can find a big perch on a dead red. Probably not going to feed any, so they're just for the hook. So rigs wise, what have we got? Well, I've only set 4 up. I might put a 5th up later in the match, but I'm not entirely sure I need it. It'd only be as like a secondary rig over one of the lines. I'm going to fish straight out in front of me. I'm going to fish top 2 plus 1, so that's straight out. That's probably my deepest rig. I've got a 0.4 gram Preston interwire set up for that, so I'll take a look at that one. Bulked, because there's a fair bit of tow on, so little 4x14s Preston interwire, bulk shot, couple of number 10s below that, and that primarily is going to be my top 2 plus 1 rig. Then down to my right hand side, same again, top 2 plus 1, but fishing off to sort of like 2 o'clock, which is a little bit shallower. I've set up an SF1 0.4 gram. Again, I don't know if that's really going to be the right float. I might just amend this one and fish it in the same area, because obviously I've just marked the pole with all the depths, so I know where I'm fishing to. And that's my 2 inside lines. The main track, really, the top 2 plus 1, we're pretty much into the deepest water. It doesn't get much deeper than that, and then you put a couple more sections on and it really starts shallowing up, and that's where I've got my next 2 lines. So as it starts to shallow up, my next line, I've set up 2 Preston shallow floats, so the F1 shallow floats. One is I do believe a 3x8, so I think, is it a 3x8? Let's have a look. No, 4x8. It's a 4x8, and that's for fishing into about 2 foot of water. So little 4x8s, strung out, number 11's down it, small hook, catch anything we can on it. And then the other rig is exactly the same, but it's fishing another section out at sort of 11 metres, this one. That's a 4x12s, and we're only fishing into 8 inches more of water. So sorry, that's a section back. This one's out at 11 metres and this one's sort of out at 9.5. So I think this rig will probably be the one that we'll spend most of the match on once the boats get up, and already, as you can see, we've had several go through. Right, time we're on, 3 minutes to the start. I'm going to sit on the box, get myself ready, get ready for some action. At least I hope so, because last week it weren't very good. Alright, cheers guys, we'll start soon. I hope you can see me on this camera, because it's a little bit difficult. It's so tight down these towpaths. There's a lot of people walking around, and yeah, so I've had to tuck everything away as much as I can, really. Just make sure my seat's secure before we start. So the one thing I didn't say, with the 4x12s rig, I've actually bulked that down. So the other one's strung out, the 4x12s is bulked down just to get the bait down onto that shelf a little bit quicker and see if we can fish like that. I intend to put slop ground bait into cad pots just to feed that, little bits at a time. I'm totally cutting back on the feed. If necessary, we can up it. I have got the little pole cup set up to go up to golf balls or even tangerines if needs be. But to start with, I'm just going to feel my way in. Start on this line out here, no, probably down to my right hand side, just flicking in wet ground bait, a little bit of squat, and fishing a pinky over the top. So I'm going to pick that rig up, which is the SF1, and get ready. Probably the last line is feeding caster across with catapult, and that's the start, so let's go. I've got another bait tub just on my left hand side here, so I can just mix the amount of feed into my ground bait that I want to. I'm going to start with a pinch of squat, a little walnut of bait, chuck it down there, put a pinky on, see if we can start catching straight away on this inside line. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that up there and put a little bit of chopped worm straight out in front of me, just so that's fed. Just a pinch. I'm not putting big amounts in here. Just this one, straight in front. That's it. In it goes. So off we go. We've got a bit of shrubbery in the way, but hopefully you can see. So I'm just fishing this off to my right hand side. Just give it another little walnut to get this swim started. That's it. Bit of cloud in there. Few squats. Let's see if we can start picking a few fish up. Yeah, that's a bite. We've got one. So, small fish, but that's what we're expecting. That's another fish. So small again. That's 3. Number 4, that's a gudgeon. Tiny little gudgeon. It's messy business. Lovely little bite though. That's a slightly better fish, that. That's better. That's it. That feels slightly nicer fish, that. Oh, that's lovely. Catch them. This is looking better than Little Onn already. Don't know how long it'll last for, but that's another one. And actually, those first 4 fish were a bit poor. That's a little pommy. So pinky, just fishing the pinky over the squat as a standout bait. And so far it's worked quite nicely. Now the canal has now stood completely still. Oh, we've got another one. Gudgeon. This SF1's bulked as well. I've bulked it. So again, just a couple of number 11 droppers at the bottom end of this. Sort of a bulk of 4 number 9s and a few little trim shots. But it's working quite nicely. Just eased off when just had a dip on the float then, but might just be slowing this line already. And there is a boat coming through. Oh, I've got another one. I'll get 15 fish off this line. Oh, and that's a better one. So that's probably the biggest fish I've ever caught on the Shropshire Union Canal. Pleased about that. They're not even marking this pinky. Fishing a size 20 red maggot hook, it's like a match up, but it's quite fine. We've got a boat coming through really close on the inside here.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Just goes to show how much they impact the flow on the canal, because he just towed the float right back up to me. As the boat came through, the flow just moved straight up to the left, so I can only imagine that all your bait washes out at that point. It's probably just gone straight over the top of where I put that bit of chopped worm, and that's probably gone, but we will top it up shortly. I think you constantly get boats coming through. We're just going to have to keep doing that throughout the course of the day. There's another bite on this line though. So still picking up fish. Bit of tow on. You can see that cloud just going down in this mucky water. I know that it'll be spreading bait down a bit, but I'm fishing downstream of where I'm throwing it in. Lovely. I just let that roll through a little bit there, and that just tempted another little roach. So, chap out to my left has just taken a small roach out at 9 metres, so there's clearly fish out there as well. If I see him catching anything better, then I'll move off this line. But right now, I think catch him as short as possible while I can. should think about starting to feeding the other lines out long, but there's plenty of time for that yet. I think it's fairly instant once you put a little bit of ground bait in. I could start feeding a bit of castor and hemp across really. See if we can tempt some bigger roach in on the shallow line. But it's difficult to feed and do all of this at the same time, so I think I'll just try and get what I can off this line to start with, then move on to another one. Let's not overcomplicate it. There we go. Ah, lost that one. It's dropped off. Shame, found that quite a nice little roach, I would have said. So I'll let this run down a little bit, see if we can tempt a bite, because the pace on the canal's just dropped off a bit. That's it. Another little gudgeon. Right, just going to take this opportunity now. That's 15 fish to the good. Just going to pop a bit more worm in on the chop worm line. The other line at 9.5 metres with a little bit of ground bait and pinky, just a few. Just start to give myself somewhere to go if this line dies off. Again, just a little walnut, a dozen pinkies, so not much in there. Pop that on 9 metres. Just out there, and I'm just going to start popping a few casters and hemp out towards 11 metres, maybe even 13 if I have to push out to that. It's very, very shallow at 13 metres though. Let's see what else we can take off this inside line. There's another fish. And you know what? We're on feeding fish. They're not big. But I'm putting fish in the net. Lovely bite, just held down, dead steady, little gudgeon. Boat coming through. Looks to be quite well out, so hopefully it won't disturb my lines too much, or this side anyway. Looks like somebody has got the net out down there. So if he's into a big old perch, then we might have to start looking for something a bit bigger if nothing's going to turn up on this line. Yeah, that looks like a good fish. I don't know whether it's a perch or a bream. Definitely something decent though. Well, my last 4 or 5 fish have been gudging. So we've had 20. I'm kind of tempted to look for something bigger now. I've seen somebody have a decent netter. I think I might have to have a look for a perch on this perch line. Just go over it. I'll always come back on this if nothing's doing. Nice bait, another small roach. Right, Canal's trying quite hard right now, so I am going to just pick up my 0.4 gram rig and try a little bit of, well, I think I'll go in with a dead red to start with. See if we can get a bite over the shop worm. And maybe try a little piece of worm on. See if we can find a big perch. Oh, that's a bite on worm. And it is a perch. Not the big one I wanted though. Small one. But do you know what? Where there's one there might be more. Doesn't seem great on this worm line. Just have one more drop. Don't get a bite. I'm off it. Lovely. That's our first roach off the long line. It's a bit better than what we're catching down the inside. All being well, keep that caster and a little bit of hemp going over the top. Some of it's falling down the slope, some of it going onto that shallower line. Then maybe, just maybe, we can tempt a few bigger roach in. As maybe the boat traffic increases and the push across a bit and so on and so forth. Oh yes, that's a better fish. That is a better fish. Just let that run down slightly. I'm only on a 2 elastic here, so I don't know how good it is, but it's definitely a better fish. Sorry, I've just got a fish on, pet. You can just bear with me. If you want to squeeze past, you can. Or you want to watch it. Oh, lovely. That's what we want. That's what we want. Just need to get him in to skim it. I wasn't expecting that.
No, I was like, the only thing I've seen so far is a little one about 3 inches.
Well, that's what I like to hear.
Oh,
Yeah, a big one.
who could be patient and sit the longest? So it's actually about catching the fish side.
Absolutely, yeah. Most weight.
Are they shooting from up there?
Yeah,
Or
I
are
think
they
so.
pulling the clays from up there?
I don't.
Just seems a bit
I'm not entirely sure, but
too easy if you get nearer the prey. Isn't
it's
it?
too noisy. I know that much. You come for a bit of peace and quiet. There's always somebody ruining it, isn't there? Well, that's a proper bonus on that line. excellent. Check to my left just had a slightly better fish as well, so maybe there's a few in this area, I don't know. But that was on the pinky, and I just ran down and bingo, lovely skimmer. Well, the wind is getting up down this canal, and it's actually towing quite hard left to right at the moment, so very difficult to really present it how I want. Don't last long, the tow. I think it's eased off again now. If I find another one of them bonus skimmers, we'll be laughing. So another little roach on that pinky line out there. I think it's a little bit slow. It is a little bit slow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop onto my shallower rig, go out to 11 metres with a caster and see if we can't just grab another fish. So what I've done there, I've just refed my 9.5 metre line with a little bit of pinky and ground bait, just while I poke across onto this caster line. And I've gone with a caster. I'm just going to see if anything's sitting out there in that 2 foot of water max. I've been firing a few casters in now, and that is a bite, and we've got one on caster. So that is an absolute beauty. I just need to get this pole threaded through here. It's a bit tight. Oh, it's another skimmer. Skimmer on caster on the shallow rig. Things couldn't be going much better, really, could they? Nice. Oops. Oh my God. What have you done there, Jay? That's great. Not as big as the last one, but they're bigger than those little gonks down the inside. So who'd have thought it? I didn't think I was going to catch on caster today, but you know what? That's good news. So it might actually be worth me using a bit of the ground bait as well on the 11 metre line, pushing a few casters in it and just concentrating a few skimmers in that area. We can do that as well as continue to feed over the top. Go. See if we can't find another one. Well, unfortunately that boat's just gone straight through my skimmer line, which might just destroy it. So it was a skimmer line, it was really meant for bigger roach, but we were catching skimmers on it. So that's a bit of a shame. Well, I can't seem to get another bite on the caster over there at the minute. It may just be because those couple of boats have been through. I'm going to come back inside slightly onto the heavier rig into the slightly deeper water, but I don't know whether it'll make any difference. Going back inside to this 9.5 metre line. 4x12's rig and ground bait and pinky. And that's looked like a bite straight away, that, so yeah, there's definitely a few fish down that shelf. Yeah, that's a bite. Small roach, but we'll take it. As long as we keep putting something in the net. Wind's just got up a bit chaotic. I'm just struggling to swing this rig out. See, we're in. Now then, not fed this time, so I've only just fed that. Don't want to overdo it. Let's see if we concentrate a few fish. There we go, fish on.
Give him a fair chance, haven't you?
I'm trying to get to my drink here, I've knocked it off. Tight, aren't we? Everything's tight. Much doing down there?
26 is Paul in, he's got £15. MPEG's catching, dodging quite nicely, a few others are catching.
Is he?
Bits and bobs.
25's doing alright.
Yeah, 25's catching quite well as well.
£15?
I think he's got more than that.
He's had a £4 bream.
Has he?
And a £3 perch.
Yeah.
And I've seen him catch 3.
We've seen him catch £10, haven't we, basically? And he said he had £10 when we got to him, so.
Oh God. Oh well.
Well,
We'll keep going.
That's the peg.
He's literally
Yeah.
got a big snag bush though that he's just...
Has he?
It's the one feature in the whole stretch of the canal.
Yeah.
Between that and the turning day, the two biggest features going.
Do you know what? Getting a few fish, getting a few little skimmers, and so can't complain. Yeah, exactly. It's all we want. As long as the float keeps going under, I'm happy enough. The sun's shining now as well, isn't it? So
We bring the weather for you. Oh,
yeah.
oh, John, all the best, mate.
Cheers, boys. Well, it sounds like, I don't know whether it's the chap on the MPEG or second to MPEG, but right down to my right hand side, he's had about £15 of fish at least. Some big bream, and yeah, so I think we're up against it, but do you know what? We'll just do what we can. I'm struggling with the chest camera, it keeps corrupting, so you might just have to make do with this one. But it is what it is. I'm fishing a national, I can't keep messing about with cameras. Getting a few bites on this line, but I think they're small fish. Well, the 9 metre line seems a bit of a struggle right now. We've got another boat coming through. Just before it does, I'm going to have a look on my shallow rig with the caster again. See if there's anything still out there. If that fails, I may stick another extra section on. Plumb up at 13 metres. It's very, very shallow. And see if anything's just hanging out over there. I've seen a few fish topping, but I think they're probably only very small. Decided to push this rig out now to 13 metres. It's probably about 14 inches deep at best, but I feel with a bit of overspray caster that's been going over there, we might pick up a few fish on it. So that's where I'm going now. Well, the long line shallow don't seem any good, certainly not on caster anyway, so I'm going to come back into that deeper water. If that don't work, I think I'm going to come back inside, have a look on the worm line again, pop a bit of chopped worm back in, see if we can get something going on that, and if not, we'll focus down the inside and see if there's any gudgeon and tiny roach left. Oh, got one. Finally. That's the first bite I've had in a long time, and it feels like a decent fish. Definitely going a bit. Ah, come on. Thought I'd lost it for a second there. That's a perch. Decent perch. Oh, he's woke up. Got him. Well, he's not a bad one. He's not massive. He's just spiked me, but anyway. Finally something. So I just keep dolloping that little ball of ground bait with 6 pinkies in on this line. Reluctant to put a squat on it because I think it does attract the smaller fish. And we definitely need some better ones. We're not going to be anywhere near winning the section, but got to try and get good section points for the team. Seems like most people, certainly around me, are struggling anyway. Certainly now. So it's just a case of getting whatever you can. Oh, that's a bite. Another small fish. Gudgeon. What did I say about putting squatting? Well, Pinky's doing the same. Never mind. I'm really starting to struggle for a bite now. I'm just having to ring around the changes, ring around the lines. So I think what I'm going to do is feed a bit of worming back on the worm line, come back down the inside, see if we can just get a few fish. I'm going to give it a fairly hefty dollop of worm on this top 2+2 line now. Don't seem to be any boats. There haven't been any for a while. Top 2+1, I should say. I'm just going to pop it down there, slightly off to the right, purely because Canal's towing through. So, back on this little squat rig, see if we can do something with this now. got to try and keep fish going in the net. Oh, I think that was a bite straight away actually. Yeah, it was. So there are fish still there to be had. So we might as well catch these. Well, I've had 3 or 4 bites down that inside line, but I haven't been able to hit them on the pinky. So I don't want to have to resort to fishing the squat, because I still think we need a few better fish. And that boat has just destroyed my worm line again, so not had a chance to look on it since we fed it. Struggling to make this inside line happen, so I am going to have a look on the worm line, even though it's just got destroyed. There may be something lurking around there. Right, well there's just under an hour and a half left to go guys, and it is looking like a bit of a struggle, so I'm going to knock the cameras off for now, save the footage, and yeah, if we don't get much more doing, which it's looking unlikely, then I'll probably just see you at the weighing. Right, well that's time guys. Last hour I've had a little run of roach on the far bank. Probably, they've only been ounce fish, taking them on pinky over ground bait again, and I've probably got about a dozen of them, but yeah, it's not been great. I was probably beating Steph to my right, but she's had a nice bonus bream I think just towards the end, so in the last 10 minutes, so, well, skimmer, so I think she's got a couple of those, so it'll be touch and go whether I beat her or not, but yeah, I don't think we've done anything in section anyway, because it sounded like there was £15 earlier on.
When you're ready.
Got it?
Yeah.
That's them. Yeah, it does.
1, 2, 40.
1, 2, 40.
1, 2, 40.
Thank you. 1 kilo 240. There you go then guys, I've weighed in 1 kilo 240, so I'm kind of happy about that. At least I broke the kilo this week. Managed to beat Steph to me right. I think she's had 450 grams, so at least I'm not last in section either. I don't know ways, there might have been some lower than that, so 13 kilo something has won the section, D section from pegs 1 to 37, and he's had a load of bream, so it is what it is. You're either on them or you're not. Anyway, I'm going to get rolling down the bank. I've got a mile to walk down here, get back to the clubhouse, and yeah, see you there.
Righty in 4th place with 116 points, picking up 600 quid. It's Colbert, Northwest. Okie dokie. Into the top 3 then. Picking up 900 quid and on 111 points across their 10 anglers. It's Strikecast, Rochdale! Come on, there's 10 medals there, boys. Come on, come on, come on! Medals! 2 National with a great team score of 102 points, picking up £1,250. It's Maver Midlands. That leaves one team picking up £1,750 and with a fantastic score of 86 points, under 10 points a man. The 2023 Angling Trust Division 2 National Champions, Census North West.
Right guys, well that's it. As you saw, Census Northwest have won the overall Division 2 National there, so massive congratulations to them. I'm sorry I forgot the chap's name who won the individual, but I'll get all the results up for you once I've got them available. They're probably on the Angling Trust website anyway. Other than that, Jacob's WICAC, the team that I fish for, so if you take a look at the wonderful t-shirts that Rob had sorted out for us there, we've come 19th, so I'm pretty happy, do you know what I mean? We've done all right there. 37 teams, we've come halfway up for our first ever go. Sound. Right guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next one, tight lines.